Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Black Leather Couch. Today's guest is Larry Bradby. He's a photographer that shoots mostly fetish stuff, and he lives up in DC, but he's traveled all over the place shooting models of every kind. And I've known him for over 10 years, I think. Met him a long time ago before I even got into photography, but he's a friend of mine, and he came down and sat on the couch for me and told me some stories, and I hope you enjoy. I have a way to fade in. So, first of all, thanks for coming down. Shit, that was awesome.
Awesome.
Because I haven't seen you in forever.
It's been,
literally forever.
It's been at least 10 years.
Yeah, face to face, it's been at least 10. Now you've been down here a couple times
I've
too,
been
and it's
times.
like, oh, we'll meet up at this place, and then
Because I used to have to go back or
yeah,
something happened.
Well, that and a million other people want to see you when you're here. So,
Yeah.
So thanks again for coming.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
What's that?
Thank you for having me. It's about time.
Yeah, no shit. So I start at the beginning, literally. So, where were you born?
Where was I born? That's a good question.
Where were you born? Where did you grow up?
We
We basically covered the quick family thing.
Obviously, I was born in Arlington, Virginia. I grew up in Springfield, Virginia.
Did you? Now, when I met you, you were living here.
Yes.
Were you going to VCU?
Yes, I was going to VC at the time when we met.
Were you studying photography?
Yes.
Okay. And you have a degree in all that, or is
Yes.
it? Oh, see, that's the other thing. A lot of my friends have degrees in that shit.
Yeah, but
I've got a couple friends that have it, and I'm like, and a lot of them don't use it.
Well, unfortunately, I can tell you a story about that. When I was coming down, here to study photography, I was a pharmacy tech back home, back in Springfield, Virginia, and then when I came down here, when I was working, I was also a pharmacy tech, and the pharmacists there, at here and even back home, they were like, "Why don't you change your degree to, pharmaceuticals instead, and then do the photography as a minor, or just do it as whatever?"
Yeah.
That's probably my only decision that I kind of regret. I should have switched them up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, is the photography your full-time job, or what do you? No.
Like I said, I should have.
You should have, gotcha.
Yeah.
Do the money maker and then do the funding. That's kind of what I did, so I understand that. But, what about do you have brothers and sisters or anything?
Yes, I have a brother.
Yeah. Anybody else into the creative arts like you, or is
my aunt.
Yeah.
She's actually a famous children's writer.
Oh,
Her
really?
name is Marie Bradby.
Oh, cool. So it's not just a one shot. You weren't just a one-off, huh?
No.
What do your folks do? They're
Retired.
retired.
Dad used to be a Cadillac rep, and Mom's used to be a nurse.
There's a lot of those too. I think you're the third person who's told me that their mom was a nurse. So how did you actually get into photography and stuff?
I started probably when I was in high school. I was with the yearbook staff, and
was it just on a whim, or was it?
No, I just liked it.
Yeah.
I used to go through magazines when I was a kid and so forth, so that kind of stuck on me. And then I realized, I was like, I have a lot of female friends, and I have a camera. It kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
So that's how I got started.
Did you have any like major obstacles when you started with it, or was it just you jumped right into the yearbook stuff and then it just kept going from there?
Jumped right into it.
What do you think is the most fun about? And this is a silly question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What do you think is the most fun about? I will say shooting in general, not the specific thing you shoot now.
On a serious note, the most fun about it is the challenge.
Yeah.
Of getting that shot, that perfect shot.
That one moment, yeah.
Yep.
Which is one of the reasons I won't do weddings, because I'm terrified of not getting that one shot.
Honestly, weddings are the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
I've shot.
It's the people, like, shooting them is one thing. Like, I will shoot weddings, but I just can't shoot with bridezillas.
But see, the key with being a wedding photographer, you have to be a good people person, and you have to listen to what the bride's mother wants.
Exactly.
You get that. If you understand that, you'll be perfect.
Yeah. So. You kind of answered this question already with the pharmacy thing, but was there any point where you were like, "This is just not going to work. I'm going to have to do something else"?
Yeah, I should have did.
You should.
Yeah.
So that's a regret.
I should have been a pharmacist first, and then
photographer second.
But the good thing is, I can still redeem myself. I'm actually going to go back to school for that probably next semester.
Oh, well, there you go. So it's not necessarily a regret that you can't fulfill. It's just,
I should have did it 10 years ago, but
woulda, coulda, shoulda. There's a lot of stuff I should have done too, but
exactly.
You live and learn, right? Let's see. What is there anything other than that? Well, I know the photography everybody knows you for, but is there anything people wouldn't guess about you? Something they wouldn't either know by looking at you or that they know you. I know now. I don't know if things have changed, but I know you're a huge Madonna fan back in the day.
Yes, I am. And a lot of people don't realize that I'm actually white.
I got a really low f-stop on this lens. That's
But now, I'm not gay, but I love Madonna. So.
Yeah.
And obviously everybody knows me that I'm a huge metalhead. So
yeah.
And I listen to every metal, metal, trance, house, industrial, electronic music, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I will say this: when I first met you and I had come to your place and saw the Madonna stuff everywhere, I was like, okay. I think he's squatting in somebody else's place. Like, I
know, right?
I was like, I just did not picture. I did not picture you as a Madonna fan.
Well, she's like an influence to me.
Yeah.
I mean, even in my office, I have my Madonna posters all over my office because it's an influence.
Yeah. That's cool. Is there? I have a whole bunch of these weird questions, and I'm gonna ask them to get them out of the way, and then we'll just kind of free ball it, so to speak.
Free ball.
I was gonna say free base it, but that sounds worse than free balling it. Was there a book, album, or movie that you feel completely changed the course of your life? Or can you name all three?
Album, King Diamond, Abigail.
Really? Not a Madonna album.
No, King Diamond. Book. Not really, I would say a book per se, but technical manuals.
Okay. Just in general, technical manuals. The fact that people would make that stuff.
Yeah, because I prefer to read technical manuals over like books.
Yeah.
Like how things are made or how things work.
Yeah. Now, see, I've always torn things apart and figured out how they work, but I never even thought about technical manuals. Actually, they're good for reference, but I've never sat down and read them.
Yeah, seriously, I really do. That's how pretty much taught myself how to. Well, my dad was a mechanic, but it helped that I had all those books at the house.
Yeah.
And so forth. Okay, so books. What was it? You said movies.
Movie. Most people will usually pick one, but the fact you give me three is great.
Movies. I would say this: when I was a kid, all my friends, we were all Arnold Schwarzenegger fans. So we would talk to each other in movie talk. That's how we would communicate. Yeah, that's how we would communicate.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally. I still do that now.
Yeah, same here. So I would say probably The Running Man.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're one of the 6 people that saw that now. I'm just kidding.
I know, right? Love that movie.
That's funny. Is there something that you have not done that you like to do? Like, I don't want to say place you want to go because that's kind of cliche, but is there anything that you have not done that you'd like to do? I love putting people on the spot.
Well, let's see. Hold on. Let's start with something that I did. I actually shot the best fetish model on the planet. Like back in 2008. Her name is Emily Malin. She is like #1.
I follow her on Twitter. Huh? Or on Instagram.
Yeah, she's actually a friend of mine. We actually talk. I talk to her every now and then. So once I shot her in 2008, I felt that I achieved a lot of stuff right there. Because shooting her was just fantastic. And the great thing about it, it was for free. I didn't have to pay her.
Not anymore, I'm sure.
Yeah. So.
That's cool. But is there anything that was something you had done. Is there something you have not done yet that you want to do?
Who do I want to shoot then?
Well, it doesn't even have to be. It doesn't even have to be photo related. I mean, have you ever gone scuba diving or wanted to do that or jump out of a plane or something?
Why would I jump out of a perfectly good plane?
Who jumps out of a perfect plane?
I don't know yet. I have to think about that.
Yeah? All right, we'll come back.
Yeah.
Do you I don't even know if you have these or not, because when I'm friends with somebody, I don't typically go, I wonder how many people they have following them on this or that. Are you on Twitter or Instagram and all that stuff?
Actually, honestly, I'm not on Twitter because I think that's kind of retarded.
I just got on it.
Yeah.
I'm still not seeing the appeal. But
Yeah. Instagram, I actually am going to do an Instagram pretty soon.
You don't know?
I don't have one.
See, that's the ironic thing. People who are creative on a daily basis on purpose don't need that extra stuff.
No.
I haven't been able to be creative very much, so I have that because I'm like, you know what, I'm going to take a picture of this pile of crap and see if it makes me happy that I'm doing something artistic. So that you're not, that says a lot about you to me. What are, other than shooting with her, what are some of the other things you're most proud of?
Let's see. Being in Secret's Fetish Anthology, I've been in 2 of those books. And that is like a huge, huge honor because, you know, that's being in that book. That's probably Jurgen. He picks out the best photographers in the world, and I happen to be in 2 of those books.
How did you get contacted about that? They just
he actually
called you or whatever?
Email.
Email.
So I guess he. I don't know.
How long ago was that? That was. And do you know which volume? Do you remember?
I've been in 2. I think 4 and 5.
Cool.
And then I got into Mammoth's equivalent book of that. I've only been in 1 issue of that one, and that's the same type of thing.
But you've shot for like Skin too and stuff.
I've gotten stuff working Skin too. I've gotten stuff working in Marquee, and I've gotten stuff into Von Guttenberg as well.
Now, a few years ago, or actually, time doesn't make any sense to me anymore, so it was probably longer than that. But weren't you actually working for one of the magazines or something? Or
no.
Were you just like? I remember you were associated with something for like directly for a little while.
Yeah, because I the editor for Marquee is from here, so from this area. She's from this side of the from East Coast. So I'm still friends with her and everything.
Oh, okay.
So I guess you could say an inside connection.
Gotcha.
So.
For some reason I thought you actually worked with or worked there for something at the time, but. So, getting published like that's what in those books. Those were what you're most proud of.
Yeah, that really helped out.
Did it go stuff in Skin 2 in the magazines first, and then that's how you got the recognition to get in the book?
Marquee was first.
Marquee was first.
That happened like 2001.
Yeah. What's some of the recent stuff? Anything?
I haven't really got anything recent. With Skin 2, it's more me being acknowledged. I haven't really got I haven't really got a spread in Skin 2 yet. I've gotten like a couple of like ads.
Okay.
Not my personal, but pictures that they've used. Well, not Skin 2, but other companies have used.
To advertise in.
Yeah, but I haven't got a spread in that magazine. But I've gotten spreads in Marquee and Von Guttenberg and Secret.
Now, from up north, another thing that I remember you for was like the Bound events.
Yes.
Are you still associated with any of that stuff?
No.
Or is it
No, because Bound pretty much.
Yeah, I remember it fell apart. But I meant, like, what about that scene? Are you still involved in any of that up there?
That's unfortunate. That whole scene.
A lot of it's falling apart.
It's gone.
I was
hoping, it's still there.
I was hoping that there was some sort of redeeming thing that's happening from there, but.
No.
Yeah, I hadn't heard, but I figured I'd go to somebody who would know better than anybody.
Unfortunately, I gotta say that's the scene that actually made me who I am.
Yeah.
You know, back when it was really good, but unfortunately, the scene it went stale.
Faded,
changed.
Yeah. What about some of the, like I remember some of the local girls that you were really tight with, you shot with all the time. You still keep in contact with a lot of them?
Most
or, yeah. As a matter of fact, remind me before you leave, I've got some of your shots.
Really?
Yeah, you'll see.
Okay.
If I can find them, I gotta see if I can hunt them down.
Right.
Well, we burned through those really fast, so I'm really like I'm gonna scramble to come up with some more stuff.
Ask me anything.
Ask me
anything.
All right. Well, then first thing off the top of my head, what is the deal with you into cats?
See, there we go. All right, see.
I see it online all the time. I'm going, what is him and the damn cats?
Those are my babies. They're my kids.
That's so weird.
My studio now. Before when I'm on the road, it's Larry Bradby. When I tag the photos, but when I'm shooting at the studio, it's Kitty Ranch Studios. Reason why, I have 3 beautiful Egyptian Bombays, and they all grew up around the studio. So when they see me put the background down and the lights out, they come running out, and they love getting the pictures taken. And Lithium is the more famous one of the bunch. Now, Lithium and Bastet, they've both been published in. Bastet's been published in Marquee.
I thought you were going to say Cat Fancy.
I haven't got Cat Fancy yet. And Lithium,
his photo credits include Marquise and Cat Fancy.
Yeah. So, and I think Lithium's been published in Von Gutenberg. I can't remember, but both of them have been published. But anyway,
I'm assuming with women.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Not just not just one picture of pussy, but other.
And the cool thing about Lithium, like I said, he's the main one. He's the smallest. He will actually model. He knows how to pose, and like every time he sees the lights flash, he'll get in a different pose. It's awesome. And I tell the models when he gets in the photo with them, don't acknowledge to him that he's there. You just pose with him. Yeah. And it totally works.
That's so
and it's a great tax write-off too.
It's a what? Tax write-off?
Yeah.
Yes, I had to provide cat food.
No, because this is what my accountant told me. Because I asked him about, because remember back in the day where people used to write their pets off as adults or as kids?
Really?
Yeah, it was a big thing back in the 80s or 90s. I can't remember. Anyway, I asked my accountant about that. He was like, "Are your cats in the photos?" I would say, "Yes." He was like, "That's their photo props."
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I guess you could.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh, I wonder if I could do that with the dogs.
Yeah. If they're, I got proof that they're in the photos.
Yeah,
with the models,
it's not like they're not. But
yeah. So yeah.
I have had a lot of people ask if they could shoot with the dogs, but they're so dumb. One of them, he eats rocks. He's dumb.
Yeah.
So at least you've got animals that are.
Yeah, they're pretty smart.
The people you've worked with repetitively or over the years, like constantly, you had a typically you had a makeup artist you work with all the time.
Yeah, I have a small team.
Do you?
Would
you like to give them a shout out?
My assistant, my sidekick.
He can come in and wave.
My sidekick, my hetero life mates, right here, Angel Morales Photography. Get out of here. And I work with John Holmes.
Yeah.
Not the porn star.
Yeah. That would be interesting considering he's dead.
Then I have London Shadows, who's one of my makeup artists, and Classy Dame, she's my other makeup artist too.
Cool. Work with. Yeah, because that's the other thing. Like when I met you, again way back when, London I think was. Yeah. I don't know whether you guys were just starting out. Using her or whatever, but yeah. And then over the years, just seeing all the stuff you guys do is always cool. So I didn't know how big the team was. You've got a shoot coming up today. I know.
Yeah.
Are you doing a lot of travel shooting, or is it? What have you been up to? I guess.
Well, let's see. 2010 through 12, I was in Arizona.
Oh, that was the other thing I was going to ask you. What was all that like? Did you go to Arizona for something specific, or was it?
Well, I was just one of those things that I was like, you know what? I shot a lot of stuff here. I had some friends that lived out in Arizona. They're like, hey, why don't you come out here? And I was like, well, with my job, I was able to transfer out there.
Oh, yeah.
So I just went there and I just took over Arizona. Well, not stayed, but just Scottsdale.
You were there for 2 years?
Yeah. And the funny thing is, a lot of people out there knew who I was from here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so.
Because I've been following you over the years, various places, and once Facebook came out, that helped a lot too. That's what's weird. Like, I literally haven't seen you face to face in probably, I don't think it's been 10 years, it's probably been like 8.
Right.
Because the last time was in DC at that.
Yeah, we saw.
At the bar or whatever, yeah. Bozo was playing there.
Right.
But I've been able to keep up with a lot of the stuff, but there's always like, well, he didn't explain what he's doing there. What am I doing? Yeah, so the Arizona thing was interesting, and you get a lot of work while you're out there, though, too, right? Because a lot of people were coming from Cali to get there, right?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
cool. But 2 years of that, and
I came back.
did you have any fun events that happened while you were there, or anything?
Well, I didn't really do. Again, as we all know, the fetish community or this type of community is kind of, they're tight niche. You gotta be in the in crowd. So I was like the outsider. So I didn't really like do a lot of like events. I went out to certain clubs and stuff, but I didn't I didn't have like the VIP treatment that I would get here, which is fine. But it was pretty cool. I mean, I met a lot of cool people, and I go to Arizona once a year.
Yeah.
To go back and reconnect with a lot of my models out there.
That's cool.
Because it's funny, they always bugging me, like, when you're coming back to shoot me, I'm like, okay. Because apparently, now I do have an Arizona crew that I work with.
Yeah.
My photographer that I work with all the time out there, his name is Russell Klein. He goes by Scottsdale Images.
Okay.
And great photographer, and he's a really good friend of mine. And every time I go there, every year now, that I use his place to shoot.
Get set up. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You're doing that here too, right?
Yes.
Because how long's it been since you lived in Richmond?
Oh, geez, 98.
Yeah, that would be when. Because when you moved to DC, I was like, crap, he moved to DC.
Yeah, I went to DC in 99.
Yeah. What, do you have any new plans coming up for, you're not trying to relocate again, right? Are you in?
I just bought a house.
I thought I read that too, yeah.
So I'm not going there for a while. So, I mean, I do like I wouldn't mind going back to Arizona.
Yeah, to live again?
Yes, but that's complicated right now.
Yeah.
Just because of, families here.
Yeah. Do you do, how much traveling do you do separate from just going to Arizona?
I go to Detroit all the time, every year too.
Yeah.
I love shooting in Detroit.
Oh, yeah?
You can't.
Now, was that just a place you'd gone and shot before?
I've got tons of friends up there,
Yeah.
and I've shot there. How long have we been shooting in Detroit? 2005, 6, something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tons of friends up there. Another connection, Lewis. What does he go by? His
Big Lou.
Yeah, I know it's Big Lou, but
Dennison?
what's his? I thought he had a different name for his photography. Well, Big Lou. And I hang out with him all the time. He's a great photographer up there, and he knows where all the cool abandoned buildings are.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much all of Detroit
you can't,
now, isn't it?
Man, you can't beat that. I mean,
you can't throw a rock without hitting a
it's
abandoned
like,
building
where can
there.
you go? We can go into an abandoned skyscraper and start shooting.
Yeah, that would be. See, I haven't gotten to do a lot of travel recently myself, but that's one of the reasons I was asking you too, because anytime I go vacation anywhere, I try and shoot. Like, I've been to Vegas a couple times and shot with some models out there, and it's always good to have those connections. Do you travel a lot other than those? I guess what I'm probing for here is, do you travel just to shoot, or do you travel just period?
No, I travel just to shoot. When
Yeah.
when I'm going somewhere, I always have my camera gear with me.
Yeah.
Or some type of.
Where are some of the other places you've shot at that you enjoyed?
Some places I've shot.
Yeah, where are some other places you've gone other than Detroit and Arizona?
Florida.
Shot in Florida.
Fetish Con. That's always.
Oh, yeah.
That's always shooting at the Hyatt.
I was trying to think.
Well, it used to be at the Hyatt. I think it's
Yeah.
a different hotel now.
Well, you shot a couple. See, that's the other thing. One of the other reasons I want to get you on here too is just to convey my jealousy for a lot of things.
Why?
Because you shot with a lot of people that I either follow or have followed and
Right.
have wanted to shoot with. But I branch out in all this other stuff.
Right.
I'm doing the video stuff and all, and like I've shot commercials and stuff.
Right.
So when you pull yourself away from that stuff, like the stuff you enjoy, you tend to see what other people are doing. You're like, damn it!
Right.
I wish I could have done that too.
Like who? Who could?
You shot with Mosh before, right?
No, I have not.
I'm trying to. I want to say it was her, but she looks a lot like Mosh.
I don't think she likes me.
No, I can't remember who it is now. There's so many girls with so many different names that.
Yeah, and plus a lot of the girls changed their names after a while. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I'm funny, like with models, it's funny how I'm with them. It's like, if I know you by your modeling name,
yeah,
I won't know your
real name.
But if I meet you with the real name, I won't call you by your
See,
model.
I suck at names anyway, so
Yeah.
it's hit or miss.
Yeah.
I've met girls by their model names and could not tell you their real names.
Yeah.
And I've met them 3 or 4 times with both names and
Yeah,
not remember
so-
either of them. So yeah, that's probably less professional than it should be, but that's how it works.
Exactly. Well, I can say,
No, go ahead.
Okay, I can say right now what I'm doing now. I am working on a calendar through a firearms dealer that's based in Rockville.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm doing a big casting call. We almost got all the models together.
Sweet.
And
Are you calling from
production.
anybody here, or is it you calling from anybody around here?
No, it's all up in the
in
Washington D.C., Virginia, Northern Virginia metro area.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of is funny that I just did the shoot with all the guns. Now you know who to pick from. No.
Exactly.
But how did you get that? Was that just a networking thing, or was it a
networking? I pretty much what I did is I walked into the gun dealership. You know, I kind of knew the guys because
Oh, you said Rockville, Maryland, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I was thinking North Carolina.
No,
I don't know why, but yeah.
Well, anyway, I knew the guys, and I was like, looked around, and I was like, guys, you don't have any posters or pictures of hot chicks with guns on your wall.
Which is strange because most of the time that's what they do.
Yeah. And they were like, yeah, you're right. And I was like, here's my card. And then from there, he looked at my stuff. And he was like, so what do you got plans? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
And I laid out a plan for him. And he was like, let's do this.
Sweet.
So, we got a budget. Well, I already told him, what he needs to expect from paying, these girls.
Yeah.
And he's put a budget aside for that. And we're just, we're narrowing down the choices. I've got, I don't know, like over 50 replies for that.
Yeah.
So we got to narrow it down to like 6 to 13 girls.
Yeah. That actually leads me into a good question then. For projects and stuff like that, when you shoot with people, do you think that things like model mayhem and stuff like that have hindered what you do, or what? I want to say what we do, but I don't put myself in the same league.
Here we go. This is a good question. This is a good answer. This is for all your photographers out there. If you don't know how to shoot film,
what if you gave up on film?
If you give up
because you're impatient.
if you did not start shooting with film, because that's the foundation of photography, that allows you to get the shot right on the first time instead of going click, 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 click. Oh, here's my shot. That's what
I'm afraid I'm gonna have to cut this interview short because we can't be friends anymore.
But do you understand what I'm doing?
No, I know what you're getting at. And see, that's the thing. Actually, I went to take a class in film after I started getting into photography. Right. My first wife bought me my film camera,
right.
And that's how I started shooting. But I realized I didn't have the patience to write down, okay, I had this f-stop or I had that, and digital was just getting big,
But see, that's how you learn. You learn the foundation.
And that was
digital
the
does everything for you. All you gotta do is push a button. That's all you gotta do.
Well, see, I don't ever shoot auto. I shoot I adjust everything and go that way.
All my cameras,
yeah.
my digital cameras included, are all in manual. I never shoot an aperture priority, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. I just shoot. and I still shoot film to this very day.
Oh yeah.
Because thank God for negative scanners.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this. I'm not gonna say who.
Uh-oh.
But most people, that are professionals that would know this, that shoot film cameras. Most of the film cameras look the professional grade ones look like the digital ones, except for the back as the screen. Well, one day I had a friend that was shooting. He was using my equipment, and he wasn't paying attention, so I switched out my film camera with the digital.
Oh boy!
And he picked up the film camera and started shooting like that, and I was like, okay. And then he just kept shooting with it. And then he was like, oh, I gotta look at these pictures. And he looked down. He was like, where's the little
where's the viewfinder?
I was like, you're an idiot.
Well, did the pictures turn out?
No.
Well, that would be a downer then.
Yeah.
Especially for his ego.
Yeah.
And see, that's another thing. People are like, oh, are you a professional photographer? And I don't say that I am. I've never said that I am because 2 reasons. One, I don't shoot. I've never been in a dark room. Well, not
Yeah,
not
you
developing
have.
film.
Yeah, okay. I thought you had been.
I have. I mean,
Yeah, I lived in the dark when I was in VCU.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. Like, I wanted to do that, and, it just didn't work out.
Right.
I ended up just recently getting rid of my actual film camera that I had because I never used it.
Right.
It was a Canon, an old Canon I got for that class.
Right.
Never used it. So, so when people ask me, you're a professional photographer, I was like, I'm semi-pro. Like, I've gotten stuff published, not big things, but magazine stuff here and there. And, I do it for fun. I'm not trying to make money at it. But that leads me back around to the question. Do you think things like Model Mayhem or whatever that are flooding the market with two things? One, GWCs, which for anybody listening, that's guys with cameras, and girls who call themselves models, that somebody took a picture of me, I put it online, and now I'm a model.
Okay.
That upsets me more than a lot of stuff, but there's
right.
also that's a bigger picture too, because there's makeup artists that do the same thing.
Yeah.
Having been in a relationship with one, I know the difference between someone who knows what they're doing and someone who says, "Oh, I've got a makeup kit because I bought all this makeup and now I can do yours."
Yeah, I can go on with that, and if I do, I'm probably gonna get a lot of enemies, more enemies than I already have. I mean, I got a lot of enemies.
So, but do you see it the same way that it's hindered it quite a bit?
It's made it where people like myself.
You have to prove yourself more.
No, because I've already got a.
Well, you are established, but I'm saying somebody who takes classes, goes through the thing.
It makes it so hard for those guys.
Yeah.
Because you gotta. Angel and I were talking about this on the way down here. There's a lot of, since digital came out, it's made it very easy for anybody to pick up a camera.
Yeah.
And call themselves a photographer. And it's just, I always tell my new models that what you want to do is when you look on Model Mayhem, you want to look at the quality of the work of the photographer, And for example, Model Mayhem, I think you start off with 20 photos as a photographer, just to say 20.
Yeah, if you're
20,
10.
Or 10. Let's say
See,
20.
I've been on it because of you. Actually, I've been on it since almost the beginning.
Yeah,
I've got one of the lowest numbers on there of the things. And now you look at it, it's like I think I'm like 4,000 something, and they're in the tens of thousands.
No, they're in the
crazy.
6 or 7 digits.
Are they really?
Yes,
Jeez.
yes, it's crazy. But I always tell them to look at the photographer's photos, and if they have about 20 photos, and you see 5 girls or 4 girls, 5 pictures of you want to probably avoid it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You want to make sure they're diverse, but the biggest, I think, I hear it from a lot of different people when I talk to them, is the biggest struggle for that stuff. And obviously your name makes that kind of go away. Like people, anybody I've ever talked to that I've worked with, that I could say, yeah, I know Larry. Which now it's a lot easier because I know you. I've known you for years.
Before I was even
exactly.
You told me I was a little nobody.
So I can say that, but I won't ever use that to say you should shoot with me because I know Larry. To me that's dumb. But there's a lot of people out there that do that shit.
I've actually had people like that done that.
Yeah. It's funny. There's a photographer in Richmond named Carlton. And he and I get confused all the time because rightly. All of our buddies call us Ebony and Ivory now because it's like, it's Black Carlton or White Carlton? Because I actually started getting emails from people going, "Are you the Carlton that shot for this magazine and did this and this?" And I was like, no. Well, I don't know of too many Carltons, so I assume it was you. Well, it's not. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
And then on the flip side of that, there was a photo shoot set up for him, and one of the girls called me out of the blue and was like, "Hey, I'm going to be about 20 minutes late." And I was like, "For what?" She's like, "Aren't we shooting today?" And I was like, "I haven't talked to you in months. What? I don't even know why."
I didn't think it was that confusing.
Oh, for some reason, it's just confusing because somebody was like, "Hey, we're shooting with Carlton this weekend." They thought this Carlton and she thought the other Carlton, and it's happened. It's comical to us now, because he shoots. We shoot similar stuff, but he's got definitely got his own style, different from mine. If I don't like to say I even have a style, but it's just amusing to me that kind of stuff goes on. So for people that are out in there, like, I would like to become a model, or I would like to become a photographer, that stuff baffles me.
Well,
And the other question I was leading to for you is, have you experienced any of that stuff, like head on, like with a girl who's like, oh, I'm a model or whatever, and then you go to work with her and it's like, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm really professional about it. I will.
I actually enjoy shooting with new people.
Yeah, I do too. I like guiding them because I like telling them what they need to know and on how to work with other photographers, because a lot of photographers when I used to do workshops with one of my favorite photographers, Scott Church.
Church.
He's a god.
No, Church is awesome. You suck that you worked with him.
Yeah, he's like a good friend of mine. I talk to him all the time. I haven't talked to him in a while.
Yeah.
Because I've just been slacking. But yeah, we used to do workshops together. He used to come down to DC. We used to do workshops at Crucible. But anyway, I always tell, I like working with new girls. It's just sometimes, with me, this is how I work it. For me, I like models that have good facial expressions. I tell them, work your face, because that is key. If I'm shooting and they have the same facial features or the same facial expression in the photos when I see them, there's a lot of.
Now I've worked with one or two that to look at them on the street, you're like, really? And as soon as they get in front of the camera, I've actually done this. I snapped one picture. I snapped the very first picture, and it was like I was looking at two different people.
Yes.
Like you're looking at their face right here,
right? And
it didn't look like it. You look them on the screen, and it's like, oh my God, how is that even possible? So when you can discover something like that, I bet you that's
awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome. And the opposite too. I've shot girls that are just like Playboy model material.
Yeah.
I mean, they look like they should be in Playboy. Shoot them, they're like dead as a doornail.
Yeah. I've been there too. So when you shoot with new people, I mean, is that you're doing the calendar and stuff like that? Do you actively seek out projects like that? Do you try and come up with stuff, or try and find people to be a part of them?
Well, like the calendar shoot.
I mean, I know that was one, but
right. But this calendar shoot is mostly new models that I've never shot before. Okay. I got a few, like some of the ones that I think there's one or two that I've shot with on a regular basis, but it's mostly new. And I'm not the person that's deciding to shoot with. I'm taking their information in, then I'm giving it to those guys, and I'm letting them
making the decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're the money.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because I don't want to be involved in that.
Now, is that? I know that's something new you're doing, but is that something you've done similar things to before? Yeah. Do you enjoy doing? Let me ask you it this way: do you do projects for money to pay the bills, to do the projects that are just fun?
I just do it.
Or do you just do it?
That's why I have a regular day job. So yeah. I mean, I'm getting paid for this. It's a bonus.
I always tell everybody it's a paying hobby.
Yeah.
But
pretty much that's what it is.
Yeah, but I mean, I say this humbly, somebody like you who's publishing, if you wanted to pull rank somewhere and say, look, I'm shooting all this stuff, I'd really like to get it here, and I'd like to try and push for something like that. That's probably not something you do, but if you wanted to, could you make something like this full time?
I could, but I probably won't. Because I like health insurance.
Very true.
Okay.
And the reason I ask that is I'm curious because, for personal reasons, I'm curious because everybody always will ask, and I'm sure you get it too, is why don't you just do this all the time?
Because it won't be any fun anymore.
Exactly.
It will lose its excitement.
It loses its excitement. See, and for me too, the other problem is I can be creative in bursts. Mm-hmm. And then there'll be a 2-month stint where I got nothing. Yes. And if I had to rely to put food on my table with no creativity, I'd die immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm a pretty round guy, so I need to eat regularly.
Yeah. No, I couldn't do this as a full-time career. It's just no.
Really?
No, the models would drive me crazy.
There is that.
Yes. Model drama. Yeah. Now,
because you've been involved in the scene for so long,
right?
And if I have to explain what the scene is, you guys probably shouldn't watch this podcast. I was going to ask you, and I will still ask you a question or a story about telling me a dirty story.
Okay.
I think I'm actually going to ask you for 2, though.
Okay.
Because I think you're going to have more than just one. So tell me something dirty. Tell me a dirty story.
Well, are we wrapping up?
We are not wrapping up. We are transitioning into this part of the
dirty story. Let's see. I was in Detroit a few years ago, It was me with a whole Detroit crew from the Skin to Exotica. Good days. Lithium Picnic was there. So was Perry.
I was gonna tell you, I have a friend who you had mentioned Scott Church and stuff. I have a friend who's friends with Lithium,
Right.
and that's the same thing. I'm always like 1 degree of separation away from somebody I really love their work.
Right.
But if I go, hey, can you introduce me to him because I just want to shake his hand and like kiss his ass,
Right.
I feel like an idiot. Like.
Right. And so
Anyone listening, I do enjoy Scott Church, and I really enjoy Lithium Picnic. And I think you, Scott, and Lithium are the 3 people I have listed on like my DeviantArt page of like influences or people I admire or something like that.
Well, I could talk to Scott and see him get his ass down there. He might.
Hey.
Actually, you know what? Scott's easy to work with.
Yeah.
What you got to do is if you have a place, I'm telling you some of his secrets. If you have a place where he can shoot.
See, I don't have that anymore.
That's the key. If he has a place where he can shoot, he will get his ass down here. Because then he'll do like a little mini workshop.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you do.
Well, I have a couple.
Jenny and Tim.
Well, Carlton and Scott, they have something too. They're setting up. They actually tried to get me in on it. I never
If
got
Scott
it.
has a place to shoot down here, he'll come. Trust me.
Good to know. Good to know.
Sorry, Scott. Anyway.
All right, so something dirty.
I don't know. Okay, we were in Detroit. We were all hanging out, and we were all pretty drunk.
That's the best kind of story.
Yeah,
Those are the best stories.
We were all pretty shit-faced, and let's see. Damn it, Angel, how does the story go? Help me out here.
Which one?
We want to do the one with the SG, or do you want to do with the quarters? Come on.
Hey, you can do both. That's what I was saying. I want the full treatment from you.
Or the fight.
That's 3 right there.
I should have just done this from the beginning.
What was first? What was the? Okay, we'll do. Okay, we'll do the quarters. We were in our room in the Leland Hotel. I think we were at the Leland, right?
Yeah.
Let's say it was the Leland. Anyway.
Anything that's going to incriminate you, though, you might want to leave the names of these places out.
Nah.
Statute of limitations is long since passed.
Cindella, that was the model. Awesome little model. Actually, I've never shot her.
Uh-oh.
She's just one of my friends.
Oh, okay. I was like, the story goes south so fast you never got to shoot? Okay.
No, pretty much, to make a long story short, my pants was pulled down, and I was on my stomach, and my butt crack was a toll booth for quarters.
A toll booth? I'm never going to touch a quarter again.
No. And
wait, that was a roll of quarters, or were they loose, individual quarters?
Yeah. Cindella was vicious. She bites too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And another story. The same.
Well, that was a short one. I was hoping for like some details. Some explanation. So basically, that story was at some point quarters winning your ass.
Yeah. Or, sliding between the butt cheeks.
Like a credit card.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the same weekend, there was somebody decided to play a joke on Lithium on Phil, and put SG with tape on his hotel room door.
Oh, like it was their. Oh no.
At the time.
Wait, was this at the time where it was like there was problems?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And guess who got blamed for it?
I'm gonna guess you.
But guess who did it?
The truth comes out.
Yeah, I got a lot of shit for that.
Well, that's not really dirty though. That was more of a. Yeah.
I said, what's a good dirty story?
I mean, the quarters one was pretty good, but that just.
I don't know. See, my stories are not really dirty. They're more funny and comical.
Well, that's good too. If there's a dirty element, the quarters thing is dirty. The SG thing is just more of like mean.
Yeah, that was mean.
And the fact that you got blamed for it makes it even worse.
Yeah.
That's more the problem with that one.
Angel and I has been molested multiple times by models.
See, that's just now you're
That's
just
common.
now you're just rubbing it in.
That's common. You know, like, oh.
Well, okay, let me ask you that. What about, you went to FetishCon or whatever?
Yes, I used to go. I haven't been to FetishCon in a while. I think the last year I was at 2009. Pretty much, I have a choice every year. Either go to Detroit or go to FetishCon, and
Really?
so far Detroit's winning.
Now, what's going on in Detroit? Just to go to Detroit?
Where
It
else
just
can you-
happens to
where-
coincide. Yeah, I know. No. You don't need to convince me. I love shooting in abandoned buildings.
Yes,
but
where
I'm
else
saying,
can you go to shoot an abandoned
but I'm
building?
saying, can't you do that the week after FetishCon?
Well, no. Well, the funny thing is, FetishCon is in August. Detroit's in September. So it's,
I was gonna say August in any
yeah,
city is pretty.
Yeah, so it's
Florida.
You know,
God, why would they? Ugh.
yeah, so it's
Why would you do FetishCon in Florida in August? That's ridiculous.
But the main thing is it's a money thing.
Yeah.
So
but I mean, you want to be able
if
to
it
get
were-
in and
if
out
it-
of your vinyl easily.
Yeah, and then if they were like maybe if they were like maybe 3 or 4 months spread apart,
Yeah.
then yeah, but they were like right
Right
next
on
to-
top of each other. Yeah.
So.
But so when you go there, anything crazy happen there? Or is
FetishCon stories. Let's see. Oh, geez, that's just a big brothel.
Is it really?
FetishCon, yeah,
I would imagine.
Yeah. There's been time. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you've got, what were we? We're gonna flash back to something. You said, "Ask me again later." I don't even remember what it was now. I guess it's not important.
I can't remember.
I really was hoping for a much dirtier story, Larry.
I'll
You're killing me with this. I
What?
thought you had so many good ones, and you just kept them reserved.
I'm going to a blank right now.
Oh no! I should.
Oh, but let's go. I'll think of something. And then another thing that I'm doing too, I forgot outside the calendar, is I am one of the main photographers for Fetish Ball. That's a big event in DC that we throw every year.
Is that what it's called? Just
Yeah.
called Fetish Ball?
The DC Fetish Ball.
Was that named something else before?
No.
No.
Yeah, it's the creator.
Oh, the black and blue ball was
yeah,
down here.
but it's the same creator.
Same guy.
Richard.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that's one of those events, just like some of the other places where there's only 1 or 2 sanctioned photographers. Or,
Well, there's me and there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch
but
of
I mean,
local
yeah, but
shoot.
like nobody, like the average person who's in there can't just shoot, or is that?
No, yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
There's like only like I don't know 8 guys that can shoot. Everybody else.
Well, off camera, I'm going to talk to you about a concept that I have
Okay.
that I'm going to need. I will need to not pull in favors from you, but contacts. We'll need contacts between the two of us because I think it's a really great idea. We came up with it in Vegas,
Okay.
and I think it'll make some money. Well, if the quarter story is as good as I'm going to get from you,
I don't know.
I'm so sad, man.
Hey,
I'm
help me out
sad.
here. I'm drawing a blank.
I don't confirm any rumors.
I'm literally drawing a blank.
Well,
And
maybe
it's one of these things. I have some stuff, but it was like I don't want to like name names.
you can speak in
so-
blank names. You don't even have to say names. You could say.
I don't know how to put
Give
it.
them different names, or use the first letter of their name.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't get you in trouble. I'm not trying to hang you out to dry.
I don't know. I can't think of anything like that. I wish I could.
I'll go with the quarters.
Yeah, go with the quarters.
So we'll go with the quarters. All right. Well, man, I appreciate you coming down and doing this.
Thanks for having me.
Time always flies when we do these, so it's.
Is it really? That's it?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm trying to keep them under an hour because staring at a video interview for an hour.
No.
Well, you're still a very beautiful man, but it's actually that's funny too because when you showed up, I was like, where the hell did all his hair go?
Yeah, I cut my hair, but I'm gonna get it back. The great thing about, by the way, when I had my hair, it was fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people didn't think that. Nobody believed me that it was fake, and I was
Really?
like, it's fake hair. So,
Yeah.
but I guess what I would say to everybody is, is just keep shooting, have fun, and yeah, when you're shooting models, there's gonna be model drama. So
drama.
Be prepared for model drama. So.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.